Bitch!
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is live stream episode number 281. It's a conversation with your best friends, and we are your best friends.
I'm Nathan Von Edmondson.
I'm Erin Marie, Betty Davis Jr.
And I'm DavidMaster.com.
And tonight, we're going to find out what really happened to Simone Biles, who, as you probably know, is an incredible gymnast for Team America who bowed out of the Olympics in July. So we're going to find out what's going on there. We're going to blow the lid off of that whole scandal. But first,
oh God. Whew.
David, what's your news?
Okay. I've been tricked into watching a show that I'm a little bit embarrassed to say I watched, but by listeners of this show, and I'm engrossed in it. But something amazing happened this year on the show that's historic.
What show and what happened?
The show is Big Brother. Have you guys heard what happened? Do you know what happened?
No.
You didn't? It should have been bigger news. Okay, CB actor Traveler and Brittany Nicole Timmons have tricked me into watching Big Brother. We talk about it all the time. I'm hooked on it, but this is the first season ever where 6 Black people from day one, they saw each other and they formed an alliance called the Cookout, and they made it all 6 of them to the final 6.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
No Black person's ever won that show, ever.
Oh, wow.
I guess they will this year.
Ever.
So did you know that Nancy Von Edmondson is a diehard fan since day one for that show?
So Nancy Von Edmondson, how much do you love the Cookout? Oh my God, Nancy Von Edmondson. Just a whole bunch of exclamation points. So it's amazing. And not only that, like no 6 people have ever maintained an alliance from the end. You got it. The show is amazing. Like other seasons of the show have been really stupid, but the show is amazing because never was a time when all 6 were in the same room at the same time, ever, until the end. And the other people in the house were like, we didn't even think they liked each other. Like none of the white people had any idea that they were in an alliance. It was incredible.
Does the audience know?
The audience knows as you're going along, but the people in the house don't know. And Brittany Nicole wrote, tricked, ha ha ha. And Nancy Von Edmond says, it's been amazing. I follow the feeds. It's been so great. I had to leave the feeds to come to this podcast.
Oh, we're sorry.
We're sorry, Nancy Von Edmondson, but I want to talk to you about it. The first time ever, I cried tears of joy watching reality TV.
Aww.
Totally. And you're rooting for them. And the thing that was so good about it is the white people, when they found out, because they don't really know yet because the white people get voted out and then they're in the jury house, but they can't know everything yet. And they kind of pieced it together. And all the white people, except for one white woman, of course, it's a white woman who ruins everything. But the other white people are like, oh my God, like I'm so proud to be played. Like I'm so proud that they did this to me. I'm proud to be part of the season. One girl says, I'm proud, but they didn't have to lie to me. Because you have to lie sometimes in the game. In Big Brother, you have to lie.
The whole point of the game, there is like lying is like who's the best liar kind of is the point of the game.
Sort of, but then there's sometimes if you lie, but yeah, sometimes lying bites you in the ass. Because if you lie and 2 other people put it together, then they're like, oh, that person's just a liar. But anyways, it's amazing. Like I recommend everybody watching it because it is a historical moment and it's really cool the way it happens and the way these people stuck together no matter what. And then, okay.
Until now it's going to be cutthroat, right?
Yeah. Now the 6 people. Oh my God. Nancy Von Edmond says Claire was the best. I love her. I love Xavier. He's my guy. He's the one I want to win. He's still in the house. He's played with the most honor. Claire was really good. But it's sad because the white people got played. Players got played, bitch. Oh, go ahead. That's it. Oh, God, we need to do, you know what we should do? We're going to have Nancy Von Edmondson on, and we're going to talk about it because it's a historical moment. It's not over yet. We're going to have her on. because there's a whole bunch of other stuff. If she's watching the feeds, there's been a bunch of racist statements against the black people saying like, how could they let this happen? This is so unfair to white people. And it's like,
I bet there was a show or a season where the final 6 were white.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, there's been whole seasons because Big Brother's been on for 20 years. There's been whole seasons where the entire cast is white. Every single person. So, oh yes, Xavier, but Claire, the white girl, understood. Claire did understand. She was very sweet about it. She was like, "I'm so proud," because they were all friends with a black person in the house. All the white people got voted out. She's like, "I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud that she did this," and it was awesome. It's like, yes, a white girl understands. For once, it's not about her. For once, but there was one white girl that made it all about herself. But anyways, go ahead, you guys.
I don't really understand anything about Big Brother. I've watched it a few times, but like I still don't quite understand. It's just like people voting each other out of a house.
Yeah.
Is that all it is?
That's it.
It's never been exciting. It's never been exciting. It never held my attention until this time. Until this time when there was a goal. And it was so much more civil than any season has ever been because there was a goal.
Yeah.
Wait, usually it's just
people hating each other.
Right? Chosen. It's like everyone votes each other off. They vote each other off. And then the final 2 are the winners selected from the cast that was voted off.
Yeah, so you have to be nice to everybody so they'll vote for you.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird. That's weird. I'll go next.
So that's when I just want to say that's when it can bite you in the ass to lie because then people can be like, I'm not voting for him. He lied to me the whole entire time he's in the house.
Oh wait, what's my news?
I have news.
Oh, news. Go ahead.
So we went into Lancaster County, which is Amish country in Pennsylvania, and I was excited because we were going to go to some farmers markets, and I was like, Amish, like they're it's going to be all organic, it's local, and it's really cheap. And we were with some friends, and he went up to the guy at the counter, and he's like, this is all organic, right? And the guy's like, no, we use chemicals, like an Amish guy, like in his overalls. So yeah, we use chemicals. It's just like, kind of blew my mind because I really thought that the Amish farming techniques were a little more pure.
Was he joking? Or was
no.
No, he was okay.
No, but called them chemicals. Like didn't even call them. Try to mask it. But
that's against their fucking religion. But okay.
I mean, I don't like. I guess I just assumed that they were to be like all natural, but that's me being racist, I guess.
Here was your mistake. You trusted a religious person.
What religion are they?
Amish.
Is that just
are they like there's some of them are like
though?
Mennonites,
I have
right?
some, but that's just they use like they're a little more progressive in terms of electricity, and they can use like farming equipment. But what do they believe? I don't know. We'll have to do a podcast on Amish.
Christian?
They're traditionalist Christian fellowship
with
Swiss, German, and something origins.
Interesting. Anyway,
they're stupid. They're straight up stupid.
Not organic farmers.
News. I'm trying to do some news. So
our baby's crawling.
Yeah, I witnessed our baby crawling tonight, which was pretty spectacular.
Really?
And yeah, that was cool. But let's make it about me. So my buddy sent me a text message or an audio message recently. He was like, "This is you," and he played the audio, and it sounded like a commercial, and it sounded a little bit like me, but I didn't recognize. Like I was like, they're talking about like soap or something. Like what? I don't know. It wasn't me, because I've had people, message me and be like, "Oh, I saw you in a commercial. Were you in this commercial?" I'm like, "No, it's a doppelganger." So I was like, "Oh, I think this is just a doppelganger," but it actually was me because my friend was working on a project that I'd just been recently hired on to do some voiceover stuff for, some voice acting. But there were so many, not that there were so many lines, but I went through it in a few days and then just kind of forgot about it. That when it came back around, I didn't even know it was me.
What's it a commercial for?
It's for an event.
Ooh, an event.
Ooh.
An event of what?
It's for a haunted attraction.
Oh.
But it was funny.
We haven't heard about about that.
No, I haven't heard anything about any of that stuff. But the person who hired me, like was hired to do different things for this job by different people. It was really bizarre. And then other people I didn't even know were working on the projects because they, things have been outsourced and so forth.
Where can this commercial be heard?
It's not a commercial.
It's at a live event.
Yeah, it's at a live event. It's like it's part of a show. So.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Our gold star. Nathan has our gold star for today.
The creators of Ted Lasso.
And why?
Because Ted Lasso, if no one's aware, it's a television show. It's like a half hour usually. It's on Apple Plus and Apple TV. It's not Apple Plus. It's Disney Plus. So it's Apple TV. And they just they were nominated for a whole bunch of Emmys. They just won a whole bunch of Emmys. It's the feel-good show of the year. That's what's so great about it. Erin and I started watching it recently, and it just makes you feel good. It's like upbeat and positive. They were nominated for supporting actor, so that's a comedy series. So they were like, they won supporting actress, outstanding comedy series, supporting actor, lead actor, supporting actress.
All right, what's it about and who's in it?
So Jason Sudeikis is he plays Ted Lasso, and he's a college football coach who's hired to coach a premier soccer or football league in London or in England somewhere. I don't know if they're in London. And why he's hired is kind of revealed in the first season. But he just has like such a positive way about him that disarms everyone who expects coaches to be totally different. He's more concerned about the person rather than even winning almost. Yeah, it's just really good. I would highly recommend it. I'm sure like you said earlier, David, it's just suddenly everywhere. People are talking about it, like, oh, I guess I got to get some Apple TV and watch this. And I would recommend it.
Apple TV, I got to get another fucking stream shit bullshit.
There's too many platforms.
Yeah, it's exhausting is what it is.
It is. You have to remember all your passwords. All right. Well, we felt like we needed a really positive gold star because it's a little heavier of a topic.
The topic's heavy?
So, we did our Met Gala podcast last time, and Simone Biles was there, and unfortunately we shot down her dress, but I think we can all agree that she's one of the world's greatest gymnasts that's ever lived. She's won 25 world championship medals, 7 Olympic medals. So she's like pretty big deal. And it kind of broke the internet in July when she said due to mental health reasons, she wasn't going to participate in the Olympics anymore, at least for Tokyo. I don't know.
This round, yeah.
So I hadn't really heard much about it until recently. She was testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Wednesday. When I say Wednesday, but these are recorded kind of in the future. So in September, she testified along with some other gymnasts about the whole Larry Nassar scandal. So when I was kind of putting two and two together, like mental health issues, and then she went through what a lot of these gymnasts have gone through with this whole scandal. And when I read into it, it's like we just really, really messed up. And I wanted to share that with you because I didn't know if you were aware of what was going on with that.
So he went on trial years ago and was convicted, correct?
Yeah. So he pleaded guilty in 2017 to abusing 10 women of the 265 women and girls that accused him. So out of 265, he pleaded guilty to 10, which is weird. And he's serving 175 years in prison. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh, what's he going to do when he gets out?
Yeah, the reason why it's back on the dock is because these gymnasts are accusing the FBI of basically being corrupt. And I'll kind of go through what happened, but kind of suppressing and not looking into certain facts and certain allegations and letting him continue to do what he was doing for way longer than he should have been allowed to. given
wow.
what the allegations were. So,
because I know people brought up the Brett Kavanaugh thing again too, that they fucked that up too.
What about Brett Kavanaugh?
You know, because they were supposed to investigate him on charges and stuff, and they didn't, and they let things pass and stuff. Yeah.
Supreme Court guy?
Yeah.
What, like being drunk in college?
No, for he was attacking women and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That one woman. Yeah. Okay. Forgot about him.
Wait, I don't know how much you're going to talk about Simone Biles, but can I say my thing about her really fast, or should I wait?
No,
okay. This is my thing on Simone Biles. When she bowed out at the Olympics and then she got a bunch of criticism from people, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing, because Simone Biles can do things we can't ever do. Like, she can do amazing things that we cannot do. So if she says, I need to bow out because of mental issues and because I'm getting the spinnies, is that what they called it? Or
something like that. Yeah, it's so like when you go up into the air, you can't tell. Like, their whole job is to be able to put their body through the air and know how they're going to land.
Yeah,
and that stuff gets like switched around a little bit. It's really dangerous.
So this woman, who's a Wonder Woman, says she has to bow out for reasons of her own. I'm going to listen to her. Like, let her alone. Leave her alone. Like, I don't understand why anybody wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, that should have been the only. God, I'm so sorry. I hope you're better. And that is such a shame that you can't continue to compete. People actually criticizing her is so idiotic. Go ahead. Yeah.
I actually only heard positive encouragement for her. I'm sure a lot of people.
Well, there was a bunch on social media and stuff, and there was some guy, I don't know if it was Piers Morgan or somebody like that, said something.
Really?
And I was just like, I didn't listen to it because I was like, this is too stupid.
Oh, listen, I'm not going to begin to say that like this stuff that happened is the reason why she was having mental health issues. Like, I'm not in her head. I don't know what really is going on, but like knowing that this stuff happened to her, it's like, if you ever had any doubts as to why she died at the Olympics, it's like, well, she's been through not only like the grueling, like all the shit that athletes go through, Olympic athletes, like how grueling it is and intense, but like the fact that she had to deal with this trauma in her life, it's like, yeah, give her some space.
Yeah, leave her alone.
So what happened on Wednesday?
That unspecified Wednesday that we're so basically these women are accusing the FBI and the organizations created by Congress that are supposed to protect her as an athlete, which are the USA Gymnastics Team and the United States Olympic and Paralympic committees, for failing to do their jobs, which is to protect the athletes. And basically, like, the gist of it all was that the gymnast reported the sexual assault for the first time to the FBI in 2015, and Larry Nassar was for people that don't know, Larry Nassar was the women's gymnastics like a trainer, and he was continued in his position, not only treating the gymnasts there, but at Michigan State University, also a high school and a gymnastics club for another year. So he was, even with these allegations that kind of let him continue to do his thing. There's apparently some loophole in like a sex tourism statute that he was like, I don't quite understand how it all works, but so he, like, it kind of fell through the cracks in a really scary way. CB Actor Traveler said that she received death threats when she withdrew. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
So insane. It's just that is the definition of insanity. It's just like, who the hell do you think you are? Anyway, go ahead.
So just moving on. So this hearing had the testimony from not only Simone, but a few of the other gymnasts who made these allegations. And basically they just want the people who like should have protected them and actually ended up protecting him to be accountable for that. And I know like some of the stories are crazy. I don't know if you've heard like what this guy actually did. Like when you hear like, oh, he abused like gymnasts, like, do you know what he actually was doing?
No, I have no idea.
So this Kayla Maroney, she's only 25, and she's retired now. But this is like what she told the FBI in 2015. So it's a year before he even got fired. She said the first thing Larry Nassar ever said to me was chained in his shorts with no underwear, because that's what would make him easier for him to work on me. And within minutes, he had his fingers in her vagina.
So he was like the physician or doctor.
They asked
right?
if he used gloves. He said no, he never did. And they asked the girls if like it was some kind of treatment that helped them. They're like, fuck no. So he's like poking around doing that. And then it got even crazier. So they were on a trip to Tokyo, and he gave her a sleeping pill for the plane ride. He told her that he was going to work on her later. It's in quotes. And so that evening she was naked and completely alone with him on top of her, molesting her. She didn't give too many details. And she told the FBI back in 2015 that she thought she was going to die. And there wasn't like, he wasn't letting her go. But he eventually did. Obviously she didn't get, he didn't kill her or anything. But so like, it wasn't just like little abuse. This was like straight on like,
that's like, rape.
That's
rape.
Yeah. So like real bad shit. Reported to the FBI in 2015, not by one woman, girl, but by many. They didn't do anything. So they minimized her allegations and silenced her and falsified her report, apparently. So it got really, really corrupt and crazy.
Wait, did she go to somebody else first that reported it to the FBI? Like, did she go to the gymnastics, organization and report it there first?
I'm not exactly sure what the chain was, but I know that like the FBI was notified, and she had a 3-hour interview with them in 2015. It took them 14 months to interview her, like to take the allegations against him seriously. But in between that time, there was like many requests, like, "Hey, are you gonna look into this? Are you gonna look into this?" And apparently, in that time, they were like. They're citing these like certain like loopholes where like they didn't have to talk to him for some reason. I don't quite understand how the law's written, but allowed him to like slip out the door and continue his work. And he molested more than 100 other people in that 14 months that it was not taken seriously.
So is he a trainer or is he the doctor?
He was like the physician on duty.
The doctor, okay.
Yeah, he was a doctor.
Ay, Gewalt.
Yeah, it's like, so there's some like stupid gap in some stupid law created by some stupid people that allowed him to evade federal prosecution for all this time and allowed him to keep his job. And thankfully he's locked up now and can't do it. But like, we have all these incredible gymnasts and athletes that have gotten like their lives fucking ruined because of this piece of shit. But that's kind of the story about, and that was like hot in the news because they just like gave all these tearful testimonies like, hey, like, all these people that didn't act to protect us, like, you need to go down, sink this ship. So
sink the ship.
I'm glad he's in jail for 175 years.
You just see pictures of him too. He doesn't look right. Guy's fucked up. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And how, I don't know.
I would just think that if someone brought those allegations forward, they would immediately take the doctor and be like, okay, we need to do an investigation because there's these allegations against you where you're molesting our athletes.
Yeah.
Like we need to investigate this before you can see an athlete again.
You can even argue that like, okay, maybe it took like a few months to get shit together, like not over a year. Like there's something really fishy going on with the FBI. And I sound like Trump now, like don't trust the FBI.
But I think also like, I think those organizations you brought up, like the Olympic organizations, they're really criticized for not putting the athletes first in many circumstances.
Yeah,
right? There's a whole documentary about depression and suicide.
I think we talked about that before. The Weight of Gold, which was Michael Phelps' documentary, where he talked about how basically you work your entire life on whatever your craft is, whatever your sport is, and you're the best of the best, and maybe you win, maybe you don't, but say you win, for example, like him, you're basically like cast aside like immediately after you're done. Like nobody cares about you anymore. And like they were talking about how hard it is to find work, to like find any sense of purpose anymore, and how people just fall into depression, like in even commit suicide, and just because it's like a really dark place for some of these athletes. And there's basically no support from the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, or the the United States, whatever American Olympic Team Committee. I don't know what they're called.
Well, CB Actor Traveler says yes, the USGA has been aware for years and they covered it up as well. it doesn't make any sense to me, because the parents knew. Like, why didn't the parents band together? I mean, I guess you're told. I don't know. I don't know anything about these things, but it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's like the same. It's like what happened with Penn State. You know, it's like,
oh, that's
what the assistant coach was doing all this.
CB Actors Traveler says Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah, Jerry
Penn State, similar.
It's very similar, because you have like all the people at the top like know what's going on, and just I don't know if they just like are worried about losing their jobs, or just don't want, like, I can't even figure out what the rationale is to not report when you, like, especially Jerry Sandusky's like molesting children.
Well, he wasn't him, it was someone else. Wasn't he the guy
he was covering up? Yeah, Jerry Sandusky covered up for the guy that was doing it.
Yeah, I thought Jerry Sandusky was the guy.
Well, who's the coach?
He's the coach was
Oh yeah,
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So Paterno, like, I feel like those people in charge, they're just kind of like, they just like, that can't be true. Like, they don't even want to engage or something. Like, maybe it's fear of like their own jobs or whatever. But Joe Paterno, yeah. He was beloved.
Yeah.
Like,
he was
like a god to so many people. And then this happened, and he just like fell from grace and then died. Like, it was such a shameful fall from grace that he just like gave up on life.
Well, it wasn't only that. There was a woman coach that he was above and knew about that was abusive too. He sounds like, I don't understand. He sounds like a piece of shit. I think this is what I think it is. It's just that people in places of power have gotten away with it for so long. It hasn't even been until this millennium that people have actually gone down for things. You know what I mean? Like even in the Catholic Church, like priests molesting everybody, and we've known about that since the 50s, and nobody does anything about it. They just move the priests around until finally the new millennium, where they actually go down. But I mean, the Catholic Church is still doing it. But with the Me Too. See, that's the thing too, is then you get the Me Too movement and the other one. What's the other one that we just reported on last week that was actually hiding? What?
Time's Up.
Yeah, Time's Up, and they're complicit with the corruption too. I just think people in power are so complicit with corruption that that's their way of doing business. And I think we have to rework the system. Like, people are so used to corruption.
Also too, like, so for Penn State and for the gymnastics committee, whatever, the USGA, so they find out this is happening, and they realize that if this hits the news, like, they could be ruined, like shut down, like it could look so terrible for everyone, and like you just could be like out of fear that they don't want to like mess up their business. Or like Joe Paterno, for example, is like, fuck, this is going on, like. Yeah, it's been going on for a year. Like, as soon as they find that out, like, I'm gonna lose my job because I was around. And
he could be like, "Stop it." Okay, I told him to stop it, and then 10 years later, what? He's been doing it for 10 more years. Yeah. The Catholic Church, though, really, and there's a comment here to read, but the Catholic Church really, like, what was the film that came out that was all about? I forget what the film was called, but at the end they showed all of the people who had been molested, or all the, like, just like all the victims. They just like screens of all these victims. And that was just like in a certain slice of time. And if you, like you said, David, that we've known about the Catholic Church for so long, there are jokes about Catholic priests. The fact that people would tell jokes about it, like, so people knew.
That's how they found Bill Cosby too, because people started telling jokes about it.
Yeah. So, but like, it's known, yet nothing happens. And then just to think of the centuries that the Catholic Church has been doing this to people. It's horrifying.
Totally.
CB Actor Traveler, Jim Jordan. Yeah, isn't he a representative? Allegedly covered up molestation when he was a wrestling coach in Ohio, now a high-ranking congressman.
Yeah.
And he's a piece of shit.
Go after him. Go after everybody.
Spotlight. Thank you. Yes, the film was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I haven't seen that, but it would probably just piss me off.
Yeah, it's depressing.
I guess like all these stories, like the moral is like, as soon as you catch wind of something, you got to speak up, because it's not going to go away. It's just going to get worse. So whatever your fear is that you're going to be considered complicit or your organization's going to look bad. Like, it's just going to get worse if you don't report it.
Yeah, because as soon as you turn a blind eye, right, that's right there.
Like whoever they name, like there was someone specifically that they were naming, I think something Cray for the FBI. Like, these people are going down, and I'm really proud of all these lady gymnasts to come out and
totally
turn down the system that did not protect them.
But think about all of the colleges and all the gymnastics programs and all of the everything that we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's happening. It's happening everywhere. It happens in every state, every city, and people cover up for it. And one of the worst things is parents cover up for it too. But that's the thing. If I had a kid right now, you better believe anytime they're getting any kind of checkup with a doctor, I'm in the room. Like, no one's ever like, what happened today? Tell me everything that happened today. And if they say one thing that doesn't sound right, we're going to town. Like, we are reporting it to every fucking person we can report it to. And I'd be teaching my kids. It's so sad you have to teach your kids at 4 and 5 years of age what can happen to them and what can't, and how to protect themselves. And it's so sad. But it's not a new thing either. People always act like, oh, today, this has been going on forever. And anyways, yeah. So CB Actor Traveler says, if you see something, say something, bitch.
I think the thing that works in the favor of abusers or victims are often like filled with shame or led down a certain path sometimes, depending on the circumstances, where they become or feel complicit or somehow just shame. There's other scenarios, but the fact that people don't want to talk about this stuff, then it creates cover in a way that's and the fact that most of these circumstances, when you look at it statistically, are people
Yeah, people people in a position of power. That's why you got to teach your kids, like what is acceptable and what's not. How people are going to try to manipulate you. I don't even know. But you got to talk to your kids before, especially girls. You got to talk to them before. This is what happens, and if this happens, do not feel shame. You come to me. I will never ever get mad at you for this. I am here to protect you. I don't know.
I will burn shit down if anyone tries to Cora.
Totally, right?
I will burn this entire world down.
That's what I'm saying. CB Actor Traveler says, so far, only one person has been fired in the FBI over the gymnastics cover-up.
Take them down. Take them all down.
Take everybody down.
That's all I got. I just wanted to report.
Harumph.
Oh my God. Josie's going to fly out there and she says, I'll help you, Erin. I'll help you burn down this. Huh?
Hopefully we won't need that.
Well, you're going to be standing there in the room, so you're going to be like, what are you doing? Go ahead, what?
Everyone's going to treat her like the perfect angel she is.
I can just imagine. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, Nathan, go ahead.
No, say what you're going to say, David. No.
I was going to say, I just imagine Erin in the room when her daughter's getting examined. You're like, what are you doing now? What are you doing? What is, you better have gloves on. What are you doing? Stop it.
hitting them with a pool noodle.
I read an article years ago. It was a few years after 9/11, and it was talking about trauma and PTSD. There's a psychologist who did a lot of work with first responders, so EMTs and firemen, police officers, like people who have seen really terrible things and been through really terrible things. And I think that sounds depressing, but his whole message was that humans are resilient and you can survive anything. And and he painted some really kind of ugly scenarios where he's like, I had this person and this happened to them and they were looking at it this way and the reality is this, you survived, it's over, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's worth noting, is that people are very resilient and have a lot of strength in them and can survive terrible things that happen. So it's a good thing to remember.
That's true.
Survival sometimes is the worst thing that can happen to you, though.
God, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as opposed to death, for example, like there's certain scenarios where like survival is like you could choose between the two. You know?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah. But Hooligan Mama says I'm gonna be Cora's bodyguard. I'm Italian. Aunt Josie will come out there with her shoe. She'll hit anybody with her shoe. She don't care.
You're hired. Start tomorrow.
Dude, yeah. Wait. You guys are parents. Like, this is the world. Like, what do you guys think now? You know what I mean? Like,
I thought about it already. She's only 6 months old, but yeah, it's
we're gonna teach her some like basic jujitsu.
Totally.
And be very open with her about the world and not destroy her childhood, but talk about, you know, things that she needs to be aware of and create a dynamic where she feels like she can share things that happen.
Yeah, all that.
Totally. I think it's good too. I think that there's hope for Cora because you guys are two people I know that she'll be able to come and talk to you. Where it's like I'm prime suspect. If I was a female gymnast, they would totally molest me because I could not go to my parents and talk to them. If I talked to them, they'd be like, "What did you do, David? David, why did you get molested? It's your fault." Whereas I know that you guys would stick up for her. Like a lot of parents raise their kids to be shameful and raise their kids to know that they don't have anyone to talk to, which is sad.
I think even if you're raised to not be shameful, or you know, they're just the whole like that whole molestation thing creates shame. It is, you know, it's like it just shows up. So I think I don't know what the percentage are of kids who don't say something because they're just like they're horrified and they don't want to be tagged as that person that happened to them. You know,
totally.
So there's like weird layers to it that make it very complicated, and it all ends up being cover for molesters. So
yeah. All right. Well, on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in and chiming in. We will post our next live stream on our Instagram or Facebook. So definitely follow us if you haven't already. And see you then.
I don't have anything prepared. What do I say?
Come on, David.
CB Actor Traveler says, "Thanks, kids. Good shows, bitch." Oh wait. Oh shit. Wait. Pretend like we're. Wait. Oh wait. Oh shit. Wait. 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 Oh.